Beautiful.
All right, Patricia's ready, and I'm going to go grab something out of the next studio and be right back.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm back.
Good deal. Okay, your mic is live on the both the Facebook and the YouTube video stream.
Cool.
Got Bobby on the boards today. He's awesome, man. Miss you, man. Things going good? Staying COVID-free?
Trying to. Managed to so far, so that's good.
Yeah, I swear I had that. I picked it up at SHOT Show latter part of January last year. I came back. I was sick as a dog about a week after I got back. It was unlike anything I'd ever had.
I've had two people that I work with, not here at Salem, but elsewhere. I've had two people that I work with that got it.
Ouch.
That I was around, and I managed to not get it.
Jeez. Let me know when we're 30 seconds before begin.
30 now.
On the
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. Because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the Gunbroker.com studios on the Crossbreed Holsters Platinum Microphone.
They're never going to stop us here.
It's 2021, and we're in a new decade. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, Gunbroker.com studios on this Crossbreed Holsters Platinum Microphone. All of this being presented to you today, whether you're watching on video screens, whether you're watching on TV sets, whether you're listening on radio stations across the country, all of it presented to you today from the Gunbroker.com studios by X Insurance. Make sure to check out xinsurance.com for a real product for you and your family, because that's what you need in today's crazy world. All right, we're going to get started. We're going to move quickly today. My favorite person on earth, as you know, Patricia Huff from Gunbroker.com joins me now. Patricia, we're live. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to cover some fun stuff. How the heck are you? And thanks for being here to wind down a crazy week on a Friday and lighten things up for us.
I am great, and thank you for having me.
Always, always a pleasure. Okay, here we go. You and I normally do the top 5 in a couple categories every single month that sells on Gunbroker, right?
Right.
But we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to do the top 20 best sellers of 2020. Did I phrase that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different, listener. If you've heard us do this before, we're not going to do the 5 here. We're going to go right down from 20, and we're going to go down the list. And this is the 20th top selling. Now, this is going to encompass all categories, right? It encompasses, could be new semi-autos, rifles, pump action, shotguns, semi-auto. Could be anything, whatever category. This is literally the top 20 guns that sold on Gunbroker. Fair enough?
That's exactly right.
Okay, and we're not going to have prices for you because these guns sold. These were the top sellers. They could have sold for different numbers, and we're not worried. We're just going to go through the list. All right, I'm going to start with number 20. We're going to go down in reverse order. When I looked at this list, again, I didn't see anything that shocked me, yet I saw a couple things that shocked me. I think you'll understand that when we go through the list, listeners. You know what I'm talking about. Number 20 was in the new semi-auto shotguns. And it was the IWI, Israeli Weapon Industries TS-12. That's been on our list before.
It has been. The IWI Tabor TS-12 is a gas-regulated semi-automatic 12-gauge bullpup shotgun. And, it's from Israel, and the Israelis often develop innovative solutions from some combination of unique experiences, unique constraints, or unique situations.
Yeah. Do we have sales figures? I mean, this means that it was a top seller. That means a ton of these guns sold on Gunbroker in 2020, right?
Yeah, I didn't pull those numbers, and so I can't tell you how many sold, but these are definitely the top 20 sellers of 2020.
So we can say that more than 10 of these moved. I mean, this was anything in this list was wildly popular because the auction count over at Gunbroker is about 1.5 million auctions going on. Now, that encompasses a lot of different things, but when you think of how many auctions there are at Gunbroker, it's safe bet to say that a ton of these guns moved in order to make this top 20. Okay, so number 20 was the new semi-auto category, shotguns, IWI, Israeli Weapon Industries, TS-12. Number 19 was in the new pump action shotguns category, and not a shock at all, the Mossberg Maverick 88, wildly popular and always priced really well. Tell us about that one.
That's right. The Maverick 88 is a series of pump-action shotguns chambered in either 12-gauge or 20-gauge, and Maverick Arms is a subsidiary of Mossberg, so the 88 is a less expensive design of the Mossberg 500.
Which is a wildly popular gun and has held a spot in my gun safe as a shotgun for many, many, many years, as has the Maverick 88. I mean, these are wildly popular guns. I can't even imagine how many of these things moved through Gunbroker over the year, but safe to say it was more than 5, okay? Number 18, and this was in bolt-action rifles, the Ruger American rifle. I'm not shocked by this in any way, shape, or form to see any bolt action up in top 20. I thought we would have seen more. That was what I meant at the beginning.
Yeah, so the Ruger American Rifle bolt action lineup is expansive, diverse, and, it's really pretty great. They have 70-degree throws instead of the usual 60 degrees, giving them additional clearance from scopes and more room for gloved hands.
Rooms for gloved hands. That's the new bolt action category. You'll see what I mean when I said shock but not shock. This falls into that. Number 17, used pump action shotguns, the CZ USA 612.
Sure. The CZ USA 612 is a powerful, reliable, and versatile pump action shotgun, and it's known for delivering massive power at close range, which makes it a really good choice for home defense.
Yeah, these are popular all of these are very popular shotguns, and again, not a shock on here. Particularly number 16, if I was to be shocked by anything about this one we're going to talk about now, it would be its placement in the top 20. If I was asked blindly about this one, Patricia, I would have put this one a little bit higher just because it's so popular, but it's in the used pump action category shotgun. It's the Remington 870 Express.
Yeah, the Remington Model 870 is a popular pump-action shotgun. It's widely used by the public for sport shooting, hunting, and self-defense, and it's also used by law enforcement and military organizations worldwide.
Which is why and I have a Remington 870 myself. As this gun rides in just about every police vehicle in the nation. It's widely used by military and civilian use. I would, in the used category, not shocked at all. Tough to find these things new in 2020. Not surprised to see it in the used category. But again, I was a little bit, when I looked at the list, I thought, I would have thought that would have been a little bit higher up the list. But it's the top 20. Let's keep in mind that it is the top 20. Number 15, new lever action rifles, the Marlin 1895. No surprise there.
Yeah, the Marlin 1895 Big Bore Collection is chambered for 4570 government, and it's the strongest lever action rifle with substantial sidewalls. Model 1895 comes in several stock variations. It can have a 4, 6, or 9 shot magazine.
Yeah, that's, again, they're beautiful, beautiful guns. And again, we can't talk about the price because so many of them moved across the spectrum. But suffice to say, because so many of them moved, you got a confluence of events going on here. It's tough to buy guns out there in gun shops. We all know that. And the prices were going to be pretty much everywhere across the board, depending on what auction you were in or whether you got a buy now price, whatever the case may be. But no shock there seeing that gun on the list. And number 14, new semi-auto pistols, the Glock G44. Again, no surprise.
Yeah, Glock's compact G44 is a matte black 10+1 capacity 22 LR semi-automatic that envelops a high-tech 4.02-inch Glock marksman barrel, and the expensive 22 LR ammo is a great way to enjoy plinking at the range, to be honest.
Do you have one of those?
I don't have this one, but I have another one on the list.
Okay. I know you do. And there's one on the list that I have to have, so we'll go there in just a second. Longtime listeners know exactly what I'm talking about. Number 13 on the list, new semi-auto rifles. New semi-auto rifles was the category as we go through the top 20, the Desert Tech MDR.
Yeah, the Desert Tech MDR stands for Micro Dynamic Rifle, is a tactical automatic rifle for both .308 Winchester and .223 5.56 NATO calibers. It hit the market several years ago, and they've been refining it ever since.
I've never fired that gun, and I don't have one. But if it's on this list, then it's something that I need to be looking at, no doubt. And so do you, viewers and listeners. If it's on this list, you want to have one. Number 12, as we move down, we'll go through the top 10 here, and then in the second segment, or the back 10, in the second segment here with Patricia for the segment that we have left, whether we'll go through the top end of that. Number 12, the new semi-auto rifles, nothing shocking here, the Ruger AR-556.
The AR-556 is an AR-style semi-automatic rifle, which was introduced in 2009, and it's one of several 21st century 15 rifles to use gas piston operation.
And for the essence of time, we'll move quickly for these two. Used lever action rifle Winchester, Model 94. I've got one, and so do a lot of others. I think more deer have been taken with that gun than anything else in the wild. Go ahead.
The Winchester Model 1894 rifle became one of the most famous and popular hunting rifles of all time. It was designed by John Browning in 1894 and was the first rifle to chamber the smokeless powder round, now known as .30-30.
And I have one with my New Haven markings on it, and I'll leave it at that. It was tough to find, but it sits in my safe where it's just beautiful. And number 10, I'll tell you now because we don't really have to cover. Maybe we'll talk about it when we come back. But number 10, I'm going to tease you through the break, but longtime listeners can probably guess what it is because it's the one I want and don't have. Back with Patricia right after this. Can any of you watching the live stream that are on the comment boards take a guess at what number 10 might be? Nope. Brian says snake gun, not true. I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. The first person to provide the make and model of the gun, we'll hook up through direct message. I will send a copy signed of Armed American Radio, of my book, Grilling While Armed. I'll have to dig one up, but I can do it for you. In fact, not only will I do that, I'll also send you a copy of both of my other books. You get 3 books from me if you're the first one. Susie Wakewitz gets it, Colt Python. There you go, Susie. I should actually say that's probably not even fair. Scott Allen, Python. Okay, see, these are all coming in at the same time. Okay, all right, you guys are good. Sandy B, Bursa. No, it's not the Bursa. But you know what? That's a great guess because I've been talking about the Bursa Thunder. Jeez, what am I going to do here? Okay, we'll have to find a way to. Bob Lansing says the 1022. No, and you know what? Because the other 3 were so close, I would include the Bursa in there. That would be fair. So you 3 will get something from me. I want you to shoot me an email, mark@armedamericanradio.org, and we'll go from there. Greg, welcome in, brother. Now, it was the Colt Python, guys, with Colt Python, but because I have also commented on the Bursa Thunder as well, they're always over there, Jim. I mean, you can find a Colt Python, you can find a Bursa, you can find anything you want at gunbroker.com. Anything you want. I've been lazy about it, but I really need to get in there and get one. Bobby, what are you having for dinner tonight?
I haven't decided yet.
I did Costco yesterday, and I picked up 4 USDA prime fillets, big ones.
Whatever we do, the wife, she had sinuplasty yesterday.
Oh.
Which is basically like they balloon up your sinuses and then drain the stuff. And so her teeth hurt today because those nerves get pinched in that process.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, it's got to be soft.
Well, if you're talking steak, that's about as soft as you can get, but I would not recommend that after having that. No. But my wife and I was looking forward to grilling those last night. In fact, I mentioned it when I got off the air that that's what I was doing. And never did get around to it. I got off air and got back to the house. And I said, you know what? My wife and I were like, let's get the hell out of here. So we went out and had a drink last night, something we hadn't done in a long time, to a local tavern down the street. Had a good time. By the time we got home, it was too late to fire up the grill, so those things are getting ready to go today. And I find out she has to work until 9 o'clock or 8:30 tonight. So I don't know that I want to be eating a steak.
Solo steak night. 30 seconds.
You got it, brother. It's a steak night for sure. This upcoming segment of Armed American Radio is being sponsored by Gunbroker.com, the world's largest online marketplace to buy and sell firearms, ammo, and related accessories. That's Gunbroker.com. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show indeed. I am Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom today. It is 21 after the hour. The show flies by. You know it. I know it. We're going to move quickly. We are in the Gunbroker.com studios. Gunbroker.com. You hear me say this every day, multiple times. If you can't find it on your store shelves, you can find it at Gunbroker. And I'm talking with Patricia Huff from Gunbroker.com right now. We're going through the top 20 list of all various categories. These are the top 20 guns that sold through Gunbroker in 2020. And, of course, we are on the Crossbreed Holsters microphone, and all of this today is being presented by X Insurance. Let's go back to Patricia Huff from Gunbroker. Patricia, love this. Number 10 is, and I asked some of my viewers during the break, I said, I'll give you a free book signed for the first person that guesses which one it was. And we had bam, bam, back to back. And number 10, of course, new
Everybody knew.
Everybody knew it was the Colt Python. So I want you to tell us about the gun, because this is one of the shocked, not shocked. Because of where we've seen that gun on the list that we've covered for the past year, it's always on the list. I was surprised to see it at 10, but not surprised to see it at 10, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a little higher too, but the new for 2020 Colt Python does a nice job of re-imaging the .357 Magnum 6-shooter revolver that's hewn from modern stainless steel alloys. And the gun's elevated barrel shroud with longitudinal lightning ports make it absolutely eye-catching.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, think of Rick Grimes on The Walking Dead. I mean, it's the Colt Python. It is the baddest of the bad. It is so beautiful. If you've ever had one in your hands, if you've ever looked at the bluing and you go back to the older gun, they're absolutely gorgeous. They are not for the faint of heart or for the faint of wall. They're expensive firearms, but I'll tell you what, if ever you can get one in your safe, that's the gun. That's the absolute quintessential gun to have. And I at some point, I will be telling you, Patricia, that I did go ahead and pull the trigger, pun intended, and it will come off of Gunbroker, no doubt, because I don't know where else to get one. Number 9. New semi-auto pistols, SIG P365. No shock in any of these we're going to mention coming down the list in the top 10. Tell us about the P365.
That's right. The SIG P365 is a striker-fired micro-compact semi-automatic 9mm pistol with full-sized, high-capacity 10+1 configuration and flush magazine. The P365 kind of fits between a carry gun and a micro-conceal gun.
Yeah, and it wildly popular out there, the SIGs in the P365. Beautiful firearms, no question about it. In fact, it was on the last, I think, 2 lists that we went over together in the past month. So no shock there. Number 8, and also in the new semi-auto category, number 8, new semi-auto pistols, was the Ruger 57.
Right. The Ruger 57 is a large, lightweight polymer frame pistol. It holds 20 rounds of 5.7mm ammo. And the Ruger 57 bears a resemblance to the Ruger Security 9, and they have some features in common, like Ruger Secure Action Trigger.
What was interesting about this one was I don't recall you and I covering this gun. I mean, I'm sure we did at one point, but seeing it so high up the list, you know what I mean? I looked at this and I thought, I don't remember covering that with you. So that was one of the ones that if there was any surprise in the top 10, that would be the one to me that was a surprise. Number 7, we've already talked about this, but it was the new pump-action shotgun, the CZ USA 612. That was also used at number 17, so it hit both categories, new and used.
That's right. We discussed it, and it's made an appearance twice, so that tells you how popular this shotgun actually is.
Yeah, particularly when you're talking in both categories. When you're buying it in the new category and it's in the top 10, and in the used category and it's in the back 10 for the top 20, that means if you can find one of these things, you probably want to get your hands on it because a ton of them sold in order for it to make this list. Number 6, no shock at all, semi-auto, new pistol, the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield, probably one of the more popular guns out there today.
We talk about this guy all the time. The Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield is a compact semi-automatic 9mm pistol and was introduced in 2016. And this gun takes the best features of Smith & Wesson's full-size semi-automatic pistols and incorporates them into small, compact, lightweight guns.
I remember when this gun came out at SHOT. And I remember getting my hands on it. I remember my dad wanting one. I remember my wife wanting one. I remember wanting one. I mean, everybody at some point has gone through. I mean, this gun has been extremely popular since Smith & Wesson put it out. But it's a beautiful handgun. It's extremely durable. The entire M&P line, and I've had a number of M&Ps in my collection over the years. All of the M&Ps are wonderful, including the revolvers. So if you can get your hands on one of these, if you can't find it, what I'm telling you is it's at Gunbroker. These wildly popular guns you can find at gunbroker.com. Number 5, new pump-action shotgun, Mossberg 590 Shockwave. Absolutely no Shockwave with this one.
That's right. It's hard to classify the Mossberg 590 Shockwave, though. You can consider it a shotgun because it fires shot, but you don't shoot this gun from the shoulder, so it isn't really a shotgun. So, choosing the Mossberg 590 Shockwave for personal defense, if you're looking for a short-barreled shotgun, is probably a good idea.
Yeah, you know what? I want to take a look at something on here. We have a little bit of time. It's almost, it's got the bird's head grip is basically what it is, right?
Right.
On this thing. And it's an unusual looking, let me pull this up right here. Yeah, it's the compact. Let me just read this for you because a lot of people might not be familiar with the Mossberg Shockwave. The 590 Shockwave offers a legendary Mossberg pump-action shotgun with a new compact 14-inch barrel. The gun's bird's head pistol grip is uniquely designed to minimize recoil, which it will do. The Mossberg 590 Shockwave comes with all the standard features of the Mossberg 590. So it's a cool little gun. I have no idea. It's, the price isn't something we wanted because we just don't know. But suffice to say, it's at the top end of this list. A ton of them move. Number 4, new semi-auto pistols, Springfield Armory Hellcat. We talked about this one just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we sure did. The Springfield Hellcat is basically a higher capacity Springfield XDS 9mm pistol. The magazine is not a true double stack, so it has added capacity, but it doesn't make the grip too big or unwieldy.
Yeah, it's a great gun. If you want to go back and listen to a few weeks ago when Patricia was on, I think we went into a little bit more detail, and I think we did cover some price, so you might want to go back and check that out. Number 3, now I know somebody that has this gun, and I know somebody who shot my earlier version of it. That would be you. And that's the number 3 semi-auto rifle Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2, probably one of the most popular AR-15s out there.
Yeah, I think I bought mine in 2020, so I think I may be part of this number driving this to number 3. So this modern sporting rifle is built to perform multiple uses under various conditions, and they are very versatile and very reliable.
They absolutely are.
Sport 2, yeah. The M&P Sport 2 is easy to accessorize and hard to put down.
Yeah.
They're lightweight and rugged and embody the best combination of function and form.
They're also hard to find. Now, we're at the end of the show here, so we're going to do this quickly. Number 2 is the Glock 43, the G43. Absolutely no shock with the G43 on the list. And number 1 is no shock at all, and it's the Glock 19. Both of those pistols are 2 of the most wildly popular selling guns in history. Patricia Huff, gunbroker.com. Thank you for being here. We're out of time, but we made it through the list. That's Patricia from gunbroker.com. We'll be back right after this.
You're clear. I'm just waiting on Neil now.
Thank you. Gosh, that was Hey, that was awesome. The end snuck up on me. I apologize. Holy crap, all of a sudden he said 30. I went, oh no, I thought I had it timed perfectly, but that was great. Thank you very much. Those were 2 fun segments. I enjoyed that. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, it was good. Send me the audio, though, so we can post it to social media.
I will have the audio sent to you at exactly 10 minutes after the hour at the top of this hour. I'll cut it immediately when I do the rework for the podcast. I'll cut yours out before I even put the podcast up.
Okay, cool.
Coming to you shortly by email. Thanks. That was a lot of fun. Talk to you in the next few days.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet. Bye-bye. Boy, that snuck up on me, dude.
We've all lost our concept of time.
I am telling you what, that just came out of nowhere. I glanced up. I heard you say 30. I went, man, oh, man. I said, Greg and I are always talking about it every day. This hour just flies right by.
Yeah, it's oh, there's Neil. Hold on. All right, Neil's ready.
Roger that. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Mike in a while. I was looking forward to seeing him this week or next week coming up in Vegas. Mike and I run into each other every year there at SHOT Show.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Gork is there now for the last couple of years as well. But I talked to Captain Matt Bruce just today. I guess Mike's doing okay down there in 860, having fun broadcasting down there in Tampa.
Yeah, he's that's where he's been pretty consistently. The last 3 days, though, while I was doing things with him, he was in New York. So he had been in New York for these last 3 days.
The hell was he doing up there?
I don't know. I don't know why he came back up. I think he had something to do up here.
He hates what's happening to the city up there, and I know he misses it. But
no, I know. I don't think he wanted to be there.
I don't think he did either. Not based on
he
the
didn't
last
say
thing he
that.
told me.
I don't want to speak for him, but 30 seconds.
Roger that.
Back to Armed American Radio's Daily Defense with Mark Walters.
You better believe it. Welcome inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. I am Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom here in these Gunbroker.com studios on this Crossbreed Holsters microphone. Every bit of this is being brought to you by X Insurance. And I'm not playing games with this anymore. I've gotten pretty hardcore when I talk about X Insurance because I am adamant about it. And when I talk about the partners that we support and the partners that support us, there's a reason for that. And there's a reason I have X Insurance. And those of you who know my history over many years know why I have X Insurance now. And it's not to be taken lightly. I have a $100,000, $250,000, $500,000 policy. A real policy from an AM Best A-rated real insurance company, and the policy is written in my name. And the company has on-staff attorneys that will fight vigorously for me if, God forbid, my freedom is on the line. I don't have to rely on some young person at a call center somewhere who can hook me up with an attorney and worry about third-party insurance that's not even rated, that may or may not be there for me if they don't like the situation I'm in. I don't want to play games with that. Not when my freedom is on the line. I wouldn't want to play games with chump insurance when my house needed a new roof because of a tornado, which has happened to me before. I want to know they're going to be there for me. X Insurance is going to be there for you. So do something about it. It's really simple. xinsurance.com. If you are law enforcement, if you carry a gun for personal protection as a CCW, a citizen, if you carry a gun for work, if you're part of a law enforcement union, no matter what it is, X will cover your lifestyle. They will cover your toys. They will cover what you do. They will cover your business. And they will cover your freedom. So get real. xinsurance.com. These are perilous times. Don't play games. If it's a free range bag you're looking for, I can't help you. But I can protect you with this policy. And I'm going to be with X Insurance at the Florida Firearms Industry Range Expo, January 22nd and 24th through the 24th. Much more about that coming up on Sunday, but it's open to the public. And it's a SHOT Show going virtual. And you can go out there and see everything, including night ops, the whole 9 yards. We'll talk about it later in big detail coming up on Sunday. Let's go now to probably, one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life, and someone who's been an integral part of this show that I can honestly say has given us information and guest lists that I could have never brought to you before without him. And that's Mr. Neil McCabe. He's been an integral part of the show for many years, and he makes a rare, but albeit absolutely the bomb daytime show appearance. We're going to close out this crazy week with Neil McCabe, fellow, the Gold Institute, writer, Tennessee Daily Star, and just an all-around great guy. How are you, Neil? Thanks for being here today on a Friday.
Hey, fantastic, Mark. Thanks for having me on at the Daily Defense Hour. And, I remember when we were talking about, hey, you said, hey, I think I might start a daily show. And, you know, it was years ago, and it's taken off. And congratulations on your success with this the Daily Show, and of course, I love being on with you on the Mothership and the Roundtable.
Every Sunday, yeah, you can hear Neil on this program at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific time. For the most part, Neil has been an integral part of the show for many, many, many years. Of course, you did a 4 or 5 year stint where you had to go and do the national television White House reporter thing over at One America, and it was always fun. You know,
we all
and
have
that
our
took you.
needs.
Yeah, you know, I got to watch you on my TV monitors while I was live on the program, and I couldn't bring you to the airwaves here. That was always a perturb. I used to kind of throw little things at the TV. You should be over here, Neil. What's going on? But I understand how that works. But all kidding aside, Neil, this has been a crazy week, and there's something that is important to me. It's near and dear to my heart. You have been a part of this show for years. You understand what this show stands for. You understand what Armed American Radio is. This is a show, the fastest growing national radio show in broadcast history in this country, focused on the right of you, the law-abiding citizen, to exercise your Second Amendment rights lawfully. And we cover the spectrum on this broadcast, 100%. We do not align ourselves with kooks and idiots that wear horns and carry spears and kick their feet up and break into places and cause havoc. Neil, I'm watching the mainstream press, something you know a lot about, which is why I wanted you on the show today, create this narrative right before our eyes that law-abiding gun owners are somehow part of this problem. And we need to do everything in our power to stop that. Your suggestions and your commentary on that issue.
Well, as long as I've been on the show, I'm always repeating myself. And one of the things I always say is that there are two parties in this country. There's the party of Washington, and there's the party of not Washington. And it doesn't, people are Democrats and Republicans because of geographic reasons or family reasons. But, there are members of the Washington party in both parties, and there are members of the not Washington party in both parties. And I think that we're seeing a new dichotomy. And this dichotomy is now participants and non-participants. And so what the mainstream media, and the mainstream media is running this country, all right? So we talk about the government, and of course the government is important, but the media runs this country. It is more powerful than the government. And the media is deciding who will participate and who will not participate, who is crazy or hateful, and who is normal and regular. And it's a moment where the people in the middle are being forced to make a decision. Whose side am I on? And this isn't something that anyone asked for, but it's happening. And this country and its democracy and its constitution and its culture and its traditions and its lifestyles and everything you want to say about it, one of the things about this country is that it always had a fat middle. It always had a place where there was a consensus. A lot of people talk about the founding consensus, those things that we all agree upon that make America America. And not only are we seeing that founding consensus obliterated, we're seeing the middle obliterated, and we are being forced into extremes, Mark.
How many times, Neil, and I'm not looking for a number, it's a rhetorical question, but nonetheless I ask it, how many times have you heard me say that the mainstream media is doing irreparable harm to this nation, damaging the psyche of this nation beyond repair? And I mean that. And I've also said, and you've heard me say this many, many times over the years, that if the left continues to push, if the anti-gun left continues to push us as law-abiding citizens, that we as law-abiding Americans, not just gun owners, but law-abiding Americans across the spectrum of any political stripe, quite frankly, but mainly conservative, are going to be forced to have to make some very, very difficult decisions that we never thought we'd have to make as Americans. And people would ask me that question, what are you talking about? Are you talking about, no. I said, I don't really know what I'm talking. We'll know when we get there. Well, we're here. And you just heard Neil lay it out. No one asked for it, but we're here. Neil, if I heard you correctly, I heard you just say that my commentary about having to make those decisions is upon us now. Is that true?
Of course, and you have people who didn't like what was going on Twitter, so they went to Parler, and then they shut Parler down. Mm-hmm. How many people listening now have been in Facebook jail for 30 days or 6 months or whatever? People are being suppressed, people are being censored, and it's a weird thing because you just want to do most people don't want to worry about this stuff.
30.
Most people, this show is not a gear gun show. It's talk about gear, you'll talk about guns, sure, but it's not that kind of show. It's about regular Americans. It comes from, if I think I know that it comes from your personal experience, mm-hmm, and then you said, you know what, I'm probably not the only person who's gone through this, and this is why the show has grown, because there are millions of people who have gone through what you've gone through, and we've all gone through it. And most people who own guns don't want to own guns. They don't want to live in a world where they need a gun. But certainly, it's not because they're revolutionaries.
Well said. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the hour, and that's a great place to go, actually. It's not because they're revolutionaries. That's not what this is about. Very complicated issue being hoisted upon us. We'll lay it out with Neil McCabe. Don't go away.
All clear.
Roger that. Bobby, I'm bummed, dude. I'm going to have to wait for that steak till tomorrow because I'm not eating that thing at 9 o'clock tonight.
It's never a bad time for steak.
No, that's true. I mean, if you get a reservation at a place like Burns in Tampa or something like that, I don't know, but
sounds like a pizza night.
No. It's actually very nice here. It'd actually be a nice night to just make a bonfire out back and hang out. It'd be perfect for grilling a steak, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably change my mind. Won't eat anything for a few hours and probably get hungry for that filet.
Only problem is you don't want to get too hungry because then you'll get too hungry to be willing to invest the time to make it, and you'll just want something quick.
Were you in my house yesterday?
I just know the game.
Yeah. That's when you go into the freezer and like, oh, my son just bought all those White Castle frozen burgers. Throw some of those in the microwave.
Exactly. Just quick.
You guys got In-N-Out down there. If I had In-N-Out down there, I love that.
Oh, gosh, yuck.
Oh, see, Greg says the same
In-N-Out's
thing.
disgusting. No,
oh,
it's
no,
awful.
dude, you guys kill me with that stuff. I would be.
Don't mention in Texas that you like In-N-Out. Like that'll get you. That's liable to have somebody draw a weapon on you.
Where are we at time wise?
Minute.
Sounds good.
No, there's a bitter rivalry between Whataburger fans and In-N-Out. It's very much considered like, oh, that's California's thing. That real
Really?
Texans don't like In-N-Out. That's the whole thing.
Well, around here it's
Yeah,
Del
because
Taco, Taco Bell.
Californians all say Whataburger isn't good, and Texans all say In-N-Out isn't good. It's like a legit rivalry.
I was thrilled when I'm thrilled when the GRPC is in a city that's got In-N-Out because I can't get it, and that plays a major role if you can't get it. You know.
There we go.
Ready to roll?
Yep.
The following segment of Armed American Radio is being brought to you by Defender Coffee. When you drink Defender Coffee, you're making a donation to a gun rights organization of your choice that protects and defends your freedoms. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back indeed. Before I go back to Neil, we want to talk about that revolutionary stuff for just a second. I mentioned it in the previous segment because X Insurance and myself will be together next week. Now, keep in mind, this would have been SHOT Show week, okay? And there's no SHOT Show because of the whole COVID gig. But the Force Center and Tradecraft Range are proud to announce the first annual Florida Firearms Industry Range Expo, FIRE, FIRE's pretty cool. It's being held January 22nd through the 24th. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's being held at the Force Center in Immokalee, Florida. Now, I flew down with X just a couple weeks ago to go check the place out. It is absolutely the bomb. 1,200 acres with a complete, intact, I kid you not, maximum security, abandoned maximum security prison down there that you can now do, night ops in it. You can do for live fire. It is absolutely crazy. I walked through the C block down there. It is insane. It's a full operational readiness training complex. Sits on 1,200 acres. Features a former maximum security prison, dozens of training buildings, numerous ranges, precision rifle range to over 1 mile with a sniper and rappel tower, and a whole bunch more. It will be an up-close, personal, weekend-long event where manufacturers, retailers, service providers, consumers, and media get to come together in one place. I will be doing this program, taping segment after segment with some of the fine folks that are going to be there next week. In fact, the Sunday show will be a really kind of a mosh pit of everything that we do there, just like we do when we're at SHOT Show, but we're going to be down in Immokalee. It is open to the public. If you want to go, head over, just Google up Florida Firearms Industry Range Expo, FIRE, Florida Firearms Industry Range Expo. Google it. You'll find where to get tickets if you want to come down to Immokalee, which is about 45 minutes due east of Naples, kind of in the middle of nowhere, which is what is so cool about it. And Naples is beautiful, so if you can make it, do that. Neil McCabe, welcome back, brother. I have to point this out, Neil, because I want to make this very clear. This show is a place where, and I made this clear many, many years ago, this is not the old Crossfire crap or Hannity and Combs, where we bring some moron from the other side and me and that person go back and forth and yell and scream at each other. It accomplishes nothing. I don't like watching television like that. I turn it off. I can't stand it. It's extremely stressful. I determined a long time ago, now 12 years, the 12th anniversary on April 26th, that in order for this show to be successful, it needed to be a meeting place where like-minded, law-abiding 100 million Americans could come together and hear about and talk about the things that the mainstream media never talks about. And that recipe has been successful. This show is on now nearly 250 radio stations. It continues to grow, and it will continue to grow. In no way, shape, or form does this show, in any way, shape, or form, condone anything that happened at any riot, in any mob event. And I'm going to make this clear. Neil, we're seeing reports across the country on news outlets that the FBI is saying that there are now 50 armed marches planned on state capitals around the country, Neil. I'm a well-known commodity in this field. I have never been contacted. I have no idea who's putting them on. Georgia Carey is not involved in any of this in Georgia. I have no idea who's doing any of this, if it's even happening. I'm out of the loop on that. And I want to make that very, very clear. Because the left is going to make a coordinated effort to paint all gun owners as extremists, and every town is already doing it, knowing the media is going to use their source of information, which is all fake, as bullet points. We are not revolutionaries. We are regular, normal, everyday, average, law-abiding Americans who love firearms for our personal protection, sport, security, whatever it may be. Neil, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, well, this show is that meeting place, and I remember when I first came on and I was talking to you, and you explained to me, we don't take calls,
right,
and we're not bringing on people so we can yell at each other, and as time goes on, your decision to build this kind of format, I think, has been validated because so many of those outlets are being closed off, and even 4 or 5 years ago on CNN, there would be a panel of 8 people and at least one Republican. That doesn't even exist anymore, But I think it's important for us to have a place where we can sort of air these things out and give a platform to so many different people who are in the community who would never be heard otherwise. And that's something I've always tried to do, whether I was at Breitbart or Human Events or One American News or at the Tennessee Star, is it's not so much that I have a bias, because I think that my reporting is pretty straightforward, but it's if there's any bias, it's because I give a voice to people who are never heard, and that's becoming more and more important because, I mean, the squeeze that's going on right now in the media, and you feel it, and I feel it because we're in the media. A lot of people may not realize exactly what's happening, but people are being squelched. And, the left used to tell us it's wrong to discriminate against people, but now they're telling us it's okay. And the left used to say, that when so-called McCarthyism, the hunting of people down and telling them they can't work because of their political beliefs, and there are movies made and about the celebrated communists in Hollywood who had to write under fake names because they couldn't work because they were communists, and how wrong and evil that was. Well, I mean, I just talked to a kid who's leaving the White House on January 20th. And, he had a job lined up with the National Hockey League. He's a 22-year-old kid. He spent a year working at the White House. The National Hockey League called him up and said, "Hey, we don't want you." It's like, so what, at 22 years old, your life is finished? Your career is finished? When leaving the White House should have been the greatest stepping stone in your professional career, and actually it's the end? Well, what kind of country is this, Mark?
Well, that's a great question, and history is not going to be kind to this generation. History will not be kind to this at all when we have the ability to step back and look. And listen, this is something that we've talked about for years. We saw this coming. I've been broadcasting throughout both of Obama's terms, now through a Trump, 4 years of a Trump term. And we're going to broadcast for the next 4 years through a Biden, well, probably 2 years or 1 year through Biden. The rest will probably be Harris. But nonetheless, Armed American Radio will continue to march on, and we will continue to talk about these issues. It's sad to me that people make this about an individual with Trump. We view things on this program through the lens and the prism of the Second Amendment. Not through anything else. Not through abortion or homosexual rights or gay marriage, none of that. We view everything here through the prism of the Second Amendment. It's about the agenda. It's not about Trump the man. It's about the agenda. And that's what it saddens me to see where we're at today. Neil, I'm going to leave it with this because we're going to have to take off. It's fastest hour in radio. Here's one of the bullet points that the media is going to be pulling from at every town. Armed and dangerous, how the gun lobby enshrines guns as tools of the extreme right. And they go on to paint all of us as extremists. And we're going to have to fight this battle, and fight it we will, over the airwaves for the next however long it goes on. Neil McCabe, thank you, brother, for everything that you do. We will see you Sunday on the Monster Cast in the third hour of the show. That was Neil McCabe, a fellow at the Gold Institute, Tennessee Daily Star. Just an all-around great guy, and he's got it going on, and we love him, and we thank him for his input into the show every week. We're going to be back on Sunday on the Monster Cast. It promises to be a huge program. Until we meet on the radio again, remember, carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never leave your cave without your club. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll see you on Sunday.
All clear. Okay, I got to go run in the other studio, but I will talk to you again soon.
Roger that.
All right, see ya. Have a good weekend.
Do the same, brother. Oops, there we go. Great program today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Wish I could keep up with all these comments we're coming in. Thanks, JT. Appreciate it. Martin, pleasure. Well, I'll tell you what, Neil, he's awesome, isn't he? Man, oh man, he's the best. Thrilled and honored to be able to have him as a regular contributor to this program. His wisdom inside Washington, D.C., and his contacts and his knowledge on the inner workings of D.C. I mean, you heard of a 22-year-old kid can't get a job because he was working at the White House? Well, here's my response to that. Screw the NHL. Right? He doesn't need to be there anymore. You know, forget them. Things happen for a reason. You got better places to go, pal. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Yeah, you got reminded about carrying your club, you know. Thanks, Brian. I agree. Scott, no, Mississippi, Como or Marshall Steakhouse. We have one here, Prime. That's good. I don't know if you guys have ever been to probably, what is the one in Indianapolis I have been to? St. Elmo's is just phenomenal. But still, to this day, nothing comes close to the experience at Burns Steakhouse in Tampa, Florida. If you've never been to Burns, if you find yourself in Tampa, make reservations to go. You'll need a jacket. But boy, I'll tell you what, man, oh man, is it an experience. And the food, incredible. But you know what's interesting? None of them come close to mine, right? When you can get a prime, well, that's not true. You get a 30, 60-day dry aged steak. Well, maybe. But I'll tell you what, you eat one of my prime steaks that comes off of my grill, you ain't looking to go anywhere else anytime soon, except back over here. I can promise you that. All right, guys, I got to get Patricia her copy of the show today, the 30 minutes, and I'll get the podcast up for you. And like you, I'm going to start my weekend because I only got that Saturday, you know. But I'm going to try to do the best I can to enjoy tonight and tomorrow because that's what we do. And we can get back here and fresh and ready to rock and roll and bring you another ass-kicking program on Sunday, which I promise you we will. The following week is going to be really good, too, because we'll be doing interviews, much like we would have at SHOT. So you're going to get just a mash pit of everybody that we're talking to. We will be recording those segments throughout the day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and bring it to you live on Sunday. So it'll be an awful lot of fun. Look forward to seeing you that's not this coming weekend. That's the following weekend on the 24th. All right, guys, I'm out for now. See you on the radio. Enjoy the rest of your day. Podcast will be up.